Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Nila Madhav Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Giridhare Shri Radhe. Jaya Giri Govardhan, Jaya Giri Govardhan. Jaya Nitai Chaitanya Chandra Nitai, Gaura Chandra Gaura Hari. Jaya Nitai Chaitanya Chandra Nitai, Gaura Chandra Gaura Hari. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Srila Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
No. Okay, let's see what happens.
Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Jai Gopi Vallabha Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Braja Janaranjana Yamunatiravanachari Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Ram Vijayate, Shri Krishna Sankirtana. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Jai Om Vishnupada Paramhamsa Parivrajagacharya Astatar Shishimada's Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki ISKCON Founder Charge the Prabhupada Ki Jai ISKCON Guru Vrinda Ki Jai Nantikoti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sikahoshi Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasati Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopagopadas Shamakund Radhakund Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai Nitai Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari Bo. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shri Guru Rangaranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Shrinvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanaha Hriyantasto Hyabadrani Vijunoti Suhrit Satam Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Om Jnanatamrandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Unmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Keshava Bharati Das Goswami Iti Namane Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Okay. Jai. Srimad Bhagavatam class. So, today we'll be reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 12, and Text 18. You got it? Okay. I was a little short notice. I didn't realize that the schedule was changed for August, so it was a surprise class. So sorry for my lack of preparation, but I've been reading Srimad Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, and hopefully by reading Prabhupada's books, I'm prepared. Srila Prabhupada said we prepare by reading his books, so that's what I've got. Shri Rajuacha Apyesha Vashan Rajarshin Punya Shlokan Mahatmanaha Anuvartita Swidyashasa Sadhuvadena Sattamaha. Okay, if anybody. Shirajuacha Yampyesha Vamshyan Rajarshin Punya Shlokan Mahatmanaha Anuvartitya Swidyashasa Anuvartita Swidyashasa Sadhuva Shri Rajuacha Sadhu Vadena Satamaha Shri Rajawacha Apyeshavam Shan Rajarshin Rajawacha Apyeshavam Shan Rajarshin Punyashlokan Mahatmanaha Anuvartitas Vidyasasha Saruvadena Satamaha Shri Rajawacha Apyeshavam Shyan Rajarshin Punyashloka Mahatmanaha Anuvartitas Vidyashasa Sadhuvadena Satamaha Shri Rajwacha Punya Shloka Mahatmanaha Yasasa Sadhuvadena Satamaha Acha Punya Shlokan Mahatmanaha. Okay. Synonyms. Shri Raja, the all-good king, Maharaj Yudhishthira. Uvacha, said, Api, whether, Eshaha, this, Vamshyan, family, Raja Rishin, of saintly kings, Punya Shlokan, pious by the very name, Mahatmanaha, all great souls, Anuvartita, follower, Swit, will it be, Yashasa, by achievements, Sadhu Vadena, by glorification, Sattamaha, O great souls. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. The good King Yudhishthira inquired, O great souls, will he become as saintly a king, as pious in his very name, and as famous and glorified in his achievements as others who appeared in this great royal family? Purport. We also have these. I can read it. I can just read it. The forefathers of King Yudhishthira were all great saintly kings, pious and glorified by their great achievements. They were all saints on the royal throne, and therefore all the members of the state were happy, pious, well-behaved, prosperous, and spiritually enlightened. Under strict guidance of the great souls and spiritual injunctions, such great saintly kings were trained up, and, as a result, the kingdom was full of saintly persons and was a happy land of spiritual life. Maharaj Yudhishthira was himself a replica of his ancestors, and he desired that the next king after him become exactly like his great forefathers. He was happy to learn from the learned Brahmanas that by astrological calculations, the child would be born a first-grade devotee of the Lord. And more confidentially, And more confidentially, he wanted to know whether the child was going to follow in the footsteps of his great forefathers. This is the way of the monarchical state. The reigning king should be a pious, chivalrous devotee of the Lord, and fear personified for the upstarts. He must also leave an heir, a parent equally qualified to rule over the innocent children. In the modern setup of the democratic states, the people themselves are fallen to the qualities of the Shudras, or less, and the government is run by their representative, who is ignorant of the scriptural mode of administration or administrative education. Thus the whole atmosphere is surcharged with Shudra qualities, manifest by lust and avarice. Such administrators quarrel every day among themselves. The cabinet of ministers exchanges often due to party and group selfishness. Ministers changes often due to party and group selfishness. Everyone wants to exploit the state resources till he dies. No one retires from political life unless forced to do so. How can such low-grade men do good to the people? The result is corruption, intrigue, and hypocrisy. They should learn from the Srimad Bhagavatam how ideal the administrators must be before they can be given charge of different posts. Wow, it's amazing. So we're hearing, I was noting what Srila Prabhupada's also pointing out here, that although Maharaj Yudhishthira had already heard in the previous verse how Maharaj Parikshit will be a great devotee of the Lord. They already told him this, they confirmed, but still he's feeling some sense of, but is he going to follow the forefathers? Is he going to be just as righteous as a king as them? So, yes, he has a lot of concern for the praja, for the people who are within his kingdom. And therefore he's feeling this anxiety, this sense that he's inquiring, despite knowing that he's going to be a saint, he still wants to make sure that he will be a qualified ruler of the people. And we hear throughout the chapter many glorifications of Maharaj Parikshit, of his qualification to be the emperor of the world. And it's describing, he has qualities of all of the greatest kings throughout history, throughout all the great kings in the Bhagavatam, even Lord Ramachandra himself. They're describing so many qualities Maharaj Parikshit has. So this personality is beyond qualified. He's Mahabhagavat personality who's come, and Krishna himself was ensuring that he would have that post as the emperor of the world, and setting the stage for such a great personality to come and rule, and then also to set the perfect example of how to leave. What do we do at the time of death? So Maharaj Parikshit is exemplary in all respects, and King Yudhishthira similarly is exemplary in all respects, especially in ensuring that the kingdom will be maintained, because he's soon he leaves as well. Also, he renounces the kingdom, and we see Srila Prabhupada's mentioning that the modern state, which is run by a democratic state, when he said demon crazy, it's run by the people themselves who are fallen. Basically, the people are all fallen, and they're erecting a fallen leader to try to guide them. But because the leaders are simply looking for their own aggrandizement or their own enjoyment in life, because they're ultimately self-centered, because they're not Raja Rishis. And similarly, they're trying to maintain their posts for as long as possible and exploit while they're there, somehow they're benefiting for themselves. And then therefore we can only expect that the rest of our society will be of the same nature, that those who are under them will also be trying to exploit the government as much as they can, or get out of taxes, or utilize the government funding for their own purposes, so many things. So somehow or other, people are all cheating each other. And it's because we don't have a proper head of state, someone who's setting the example with the qualities of a pious king or a saintly king. It says here, what did it say? They don't rule the state based by the scriptural injunctions. They're not themselves strict followers, and therefore they can't encourage anyone to be a strict follower. And so we see what I was reflecting on is Srila Prabhupada's position and how he led our movement. The movement, as he was managing everything, he was of the highest character. The most exalted devotee. He's here as a pure representative of Lord Krishna, and he in that way instilled a sense of strength in his disciples. He inspired them and enlivened them and empowered them to also become pure and also live by the words of the scripture. And he called out very frankly the kings who are incapable of doing so, because they're not capable of bringing the people to a higher standard. They're not at a higher standard, and therefore they can't bring the people to a higher standard of living. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I was also reflecting a little bit. There's one point also from the 12th canto. One verse. I think it's third chapter. Yeah, third chapter. No, you don't have to go to it, but I'm just mentioning where it is. But it's describing that in the age of Kali, basically because symptomatically the kings are their intelligence polluted, but similarly it's saying the people's intelligence will be diverted by atheism, and they'll almost never offer sacrifices to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the Supreme Spiritual Master of the universe. Although the great personalities who control the three worlds all bow down to the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, the petty and miserable human beings of this age will not do so. So it's the previous ages we hear from Maharaj Yudhishthira and from the Brahmanins further on when they're describing Maharaj Parikshit's qualities, they're referencing many great kings who had come before and how their qualities were so exalted, but they all offered respect to the Supreme Lord. They recognized themselves as not being the highest power and that they're operating within a system, and they're meant to offer their respect and their sacrifice to the Lord and accept the sacrifice of the praja, and in that way also direct the citizens to serve the Lord. But again, the miserable human beings of this age, we don't do that. And therefore we've experienced, Srila Prabhupada says, corruption, intrigue, and hypocrisy. Mm-hmm. So, one point Krishna Kripa was pointing out that we had to emphasize here is how much Maharaj Yudhishthira or any leader, in order to be a leader, we must have to care. There has to be a sincere concern for the benefit of the people. And that's very much applicable to us today in our movement, that we see Srila Prabhupada didn't make devotees because he ruled with an iron hand or an iron fist or a club or whatever. He made devotees because he had so much love for the Lord, and therefore he loved everyone. And nobody in this society has experienced that quality of love. So we're so used to very superficial relationships where people will smile at you and say hi, but they don't actually care about you. They forget about you in the next moment. This is the quality of our relationships here. Of course, devotees will find I find, at least in the devotional service, as the more I chant and practice, the more I experience nice feelings towards devotees, even when I'm not seeing them. And so many things will come. So we can see just the quality of being in Krishna consciousness, that we start to awaken really sincere feelings towards others and concern and happiness for their happiness. and desire to see people happy. But Srila Prabhupada, of course, being the perfect representative and founder Acharya, he is always situated in that way. He's not seeing the bad qualities of others. And he's always able to bring out the wonderful qualities of his disciples. This is the quality of a great king as well, that they can see the good, and they also invoke fear. Actually, they say fear. They're fear personified for the upstarts, persons who are trying to cause trouble in the society, in the nice spiritual atmosphere that's being produced by such powerful leadership. So the more that we become fixed in the real principles of Bhagavad Dharma, of devotional service and hearing and chanting, and our hearts become purified of the avarice, intrigue, hypocrisy, corruption, and so on, then we become capable of expressing our love towards those people who are following, because we're not, a leader is not actually meant to think they're the leader, they're the servant. I was reflecting on a prayer I offered yesterday to my spiritual master. Or in my offering, I put the prayer, and it was by King Kulashekar. And what a wonderful king! We read the Mukunda Mala Stotra, and this is the quality of, this is the heart of a Raja Rishi, that they are in full absorption and devotion to the Lord and utter surrender. And the verse I was remembering is here. It's very beautiful. He says, Majjanmana palamidam madukaitu bare matpartani yamaduna anugraha esha eva twad britti paricharaka britti brityasya britti itimam smaralokanata. O enemy of Madhu and Kaitaba, O Lord of the universe, the perfection of my life and the most cherished mercy you could show me would be for you to consider me the servant of 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 your servant. So this is the way in which the king is begging to be the servant of the Lord's servants. So the rulers of our spiritual society, the rulers of our society, should also have a similar mood, that they're simply looking for a way in which they can be the servant. Otherwise, we build a false ego, another upadi, designation, thinking that we are something that should be listened to, we're the authority, and everybody has to bow down to our word, and if they don't, then I chastise them. This becomes our mood. It's a subtle thing, it may not come out so prominently, but we think we're the controllers of the people, and that our authority can't be challenged or questioned, otherwise that person gets the stick, or they get cut off, or whatever it may be. But the point is that we have to become the servant of 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 the servant. And in that way we can truly be empowered, because the mercy of Lord Chaitanya is coming down to the most fallen. So if we want to be empowered to lead people, then we have to accept ourselves as the most fallen to receive that mercy. Otherwise, what mercy are we taking? Only the mercy of our mind and our senses. We've been in the mercy of our mind and our senses for countless lifetimes, and they haven't proved to produce a great leader. Actually, they only produce great servants, which are us. We become servants of the mind and the senses, and we don't truly lead anybody. So this is the quality of a great king, as Srila Prabhupada is describing, that we have to learn from the Srimad Bhagavatam how ideal the administrators must be. And that doesn't mean that they're great and powerful persons only, but they're great and powerful in their devotion and their pure surrender, sharanagati, that they only accept what's favorable to devotional service and they reject everything else. And in that way they can direct the people. And this is not just great leaders, but we're also leaders in our families. Persons who have children, you're leaders, but you're not the owners of your children. You're the servant of your children. Srila Prabhupada said when grihastas would come to them, they have children, but the child becomes their deity. They have to take care of that child as if it's Krishna. Of course, we understand they're not Krishna. Your kid's not Krishna, but he's a servant of Krishna, and we should see them as non-different. And that way, we have to take care of each other. This is the mood, and Srila Prabhupada again exemplified this so wonderfully, and how he showed compassion and love and mercy more than anything. And of course, he described. I was reading in the Nectar of Book Distribution yesterday evening. Srila Prabhupada was writing to some of the book distributors, and he was mentioning the point. I can't remember the exact verse. It was a verse by Rupa Goswami. And what was that verse? Now I'm forgetting the whole point. No, it wasn't Yukta Vairagya, it was something else. But what was that verse? It was just in my mind, and then I have the translation in my mind, but even the translation just faded as I was trying to describe it. Oh, there it is. Okay. So the principle that we follow is that first we want people to become Krishna conscious, and then later we introduce the rules and regulations. That this is our principle, that first so this is the quality, that we understand the essence of our previous acharyas, the essence of their desire is that everybody become Krishna conscious. And then we introduce the rules and regulations to empower them to go further and deeper in their Krishna consciousness. But first, people have to have a taste, and we express our love by giving them association and encouraging them and enlivening them, and then gradually we can add more strength to their practice by introducing that. We follow these regulative principles. We chant a regulated number of rounds, not just kind of any time and whatever you want, but just make it steady and consistent. So. Jai Shri Radha Nyo Madhava Ki Jai, Shri Radha Giridhari Shri Giriraj Goparan Ki Jai, Shri Nitai Gaur Chandra Shri Nitai Chaitanya Chandra Ki Jai. So I was appreciating this point that Srila Prabhupada was making, that this is our principle, that first we want to make people Krishna conscious, and then we'll introduce more of the rules and regulations to help them. So again, it's an expression of mercy and a perfect presentation of what is the desire of the previous acharyas. And Maharaj Yudhishthira is here desiring to hear that this personality, Maharaj Parikshit Maharaj, who's coming, will be a follower of his forefathers. He won't be an upstart. He won't just try to change everything as soon as he gets it and forget everything that the previous kings had said and think that they're all old, they don't know what they're talking about, so I'm going to do it like this. No, he catches on to what they desire to see, and therefore he carries that forward in that circumstance, in that time and place. And this is, Srila Prabhupada describes really beautifully what is realization. I think that's in the 4th chapter of the 1st canto. Might be the first verse. But basically, it's describing that realization means that we've understood it so perfectly that in any time or circumstance, then we can express the essence of the teaching in a way that we don't try to screw out any new meaning or take anything out of it, or even leave anything out of it, but we present it perfectly according to time, place, and circumstance in a way that's palatable to the people that we're speaking to, or in this case, then to the people that they're ruling. So similarly, these great kings have to take what is the desire of the previous rulers, and what is the desire of our previous acharyas, and how do we apply that today in our lives? And that means we have to become the servant. We have to be humble and submissive to hear that message. And actually, when I was looking at this verse, I went to the wrong verse, and I was looking at 1:2:18 instead of 1:12:18. I was like, wait, I'm on the wrong verse. But it was the verse describing that by regular attendance in the class in the Bhagavatam, then everything inauspicious, all unwanted things in the heart will be completely eradicated, or it says almost completely eradicated from the heart, removed. Which somebody described that. I don't remember the point about almost, but in any case, by coming and hearing from the Bhagavatam every day, and ourselves taking up, not just in the morning, but we should be trying to hear Bhagavatam more than once a day. In the afternoon we should be reading also, or sometime in the day we should try to come in contact again with Srila Prabhupada's books in our own time. And in this way, all that's troublesome to our heart will be removed, and we can then become leaders in our own right, in somewhere, however we are, wherever we're at in society and our position, then we can be exemplary in that position and benefit those who are around us and who are hearing from us. Because we become like our association, basically. Srila Prabhupada always emphasizes this. We have to associate with sadhus. If you want to become a drunkard, then you associate at the bar and hang out with the drunkards. If you want to be If you want to gamble and be a gambler, then you go to the casino and you can hang out with people who are always gambling, and you'll get really passionate and inspired to go try it out yourself. And similarly, if you want to be a great saintly person and perfect your life and no longer be completely absorbed in corruption, intrigue, hypocrisy, lust, anger, avarice, all the qualities of Kali Yuga, then we have to associate consistently, constantly, even meditating on the points of Srimad Bhagavatam and the holy names. And we have to always bring ourselves back to that. And in that way we will gradually be freed of the unwanted things. Actually, there's one quote in the Bhagavatam, verse 10, Canto 10, I think it's 14, or 2:14 maybe. Basically it says that it was 10:14:3. It said even if you just stay alive and maintain your existence, maintain your existence, but hearing every day, hearing about and glorifying the Lord's pastimes, then you'll go back to Godhead. You'll be perfect. We just have to be able to maintain our existence and stay alive and hear and chant the glories of the Lord, and everything else may fail. Even if we can't do anything else, we can't practically do anything, but if we can keep ourselves in this vibration, then everything is perfect. It's all auspicious. So I'll pause here and see if there's anything we can stir some more discussion. Krishna Kripa.
Sticking to the verse and the purport. To me, it's interesting that Yudhishthira is asking the saintly persons that are there just what happened. Here, this boy has been born under bizarre circumstances. And yet he was still born, not exactly at the same time that all this Brahmastra stuff happened. It was after that. So he's asking the sages, what do the stars say? What do the planets say about this boy's birth? That it's already miraculous, but will he be a king in our lineage? He's already seeing that Battle of Kurukshetra just happened. There are very few kings left. And now here's one that's born. Is he capable of keeping the world in the right place or not? It's an interesting question that doesn't come up to most people in their life. Will this person actually be able to take care of the world? Big question.
Yeah, it's a lot of pressure.
Thank you. Many stimulating points you mentioned. I was specifically thinking about this word Shudra, where Prabhupada is saying people are Shudra, are less. And sometimes this word Shudra is used in the sense of useless, bad sense. But I think in this purport, Prabhupada makes it clear, it's by qualities, when the guna is bad. And he says lust and avarice. So there are two sides of it, right? One is by skill, you're a Shudra, and then by guna and karma. So someone can be Shudra by skill but divine, right? So you can go back to Godhead if you are divine, but by skill you just serve somebody but you don't have other skills. That's fine, no problem. But in this context, and usually when we use that word, is based on the quality, right? So when there are these lower qualities, so the Shudras, therefore, they put themselves under somebody and they don't accumulate wealth, because as soon as they have some money, they go spend on bad habits, right? So I'm just trying to make sure that this word Shudra, the way it's presented, is not misunderstood, because it's presented in the context of when the gunas, when the qualities are bad, as we are seeing in the Kali Yuga, and then people like this, they become the leaders of the society, then everything is ruined. They push these bad qualities into the population where until they normalize bad qualities as something good, and then it becomes very bad. And one more thing is, we use this word interchangeably, leaders, managers, but they are two different things. Management is a skill, but you will become a leader only when you have good qualities. Just like Shudra, there's a skill and that guna goes with it. Unless you have good guna qualities, you can never become a leader. You can be a manager. It is just a skill, right? But what we need is leaders, and unless they develop Brahmanical qualities in a spiritual society, you cannot be a true leader. Because a Brahmana, so you should rise to proper mode and have proper devotional qualities. Then only someone can walk into the temple today and become a manager. But in order to become a leader, you need to have this, cultivate these, spiritual good qualities, care and compassion for others. So, those are comments.
Thank you for sharing. Okay. Wow. Okay. Anything else?
And just a comment, I like what you said, that first we should give a taste for Krishna consciousness rather than going right away for, so many rounds or rules and regulations. Yeah, I have seen some devotees, how they befriend, guests and then just, have them engage in some kind of service and just become friend, listen to them. And then as they more and more they associate with you, they themselves would like what we do and start journey.
Yeah.
So thank you.
Yeah, it's a great point.
Just like to extend what Mataji said when you were talking about realizations. The word realization basically is like skills and knowledge combined. So a lot of the philosophy explains is like skills can be diminished or forgotten over the time. Knowledge fades as memory fades, but the realizations stay. So as you said, the experience of Krishna consciousness is enough to take you back. Where you're reading, where you're chanting, you have honoring prasadam, dancing. So the word realization actually is like experiencing. And that experience will stay rather than knowledge and skill.
Yeah. What is our actual understanding of Krishna consciousness, and that His Holiness Hanam Prashak Maharaj will say our perspective. Quite often he mentions perspective in relation to bhava, and so this is our whatever our perspective is, we'll carry that forward, because our mental facilities may fail, our physical facilities may fail, but our perspective on Krishna, that can remain. Krishna consciousness in general, that will continue. And I was also thinking in relation to the new people coming to Krishna consciousness, it's essential. In Srila Prabhupada, he was just giving his association to them, and his association was so powerful that everybody was inspired naturally to start taking up the process. He didn't have to put a bunch of things on them, but allowing them to come and hear. And because the philosophy itself, Krishna consciousness itself, is so strong, and it becomes very clear. You either have to, if you're going to be here and hear it, you're either going to have to change something, or you're just going to have to hear that you're not doing it constantly. And it's not very easy to sit and. That's why many people may not read Prabhupada's books, because what Prabhupada's saying in them might hurt because they don't want to follow it. It's not easy to consistently hear how we have to do something if we don't want to do it. So, anyways, new people also will become inspired by hearing the philosophy, and if their relationships are good, if there's love and compassion and friendship, then they will feel that, yes, these people aren't doing those things if we're exemplary ourselves, and they'll see that these people have given up their sense gratification. And honestly, I meet so many people, at least in this just the last few months. I think three people have told me, they've been feeling there's certain things that they wanted to give up or they didn't want to do in their life, and somehow or other it's crept in. And similar to myself, there are so many things I didn't feel I would ever do, but I found myself absorbed in all kinds of material activities and degraded stuff. And I was thinking, how did it just creeps up, and before you know it, you're in activities that you never think you would have done. And I was seeing that, and I was feeling like, how did this happen? And then similarly, these people, after coming in contact with Krishna consciousness, those qualities which they recognized that they didn't want to do, they felt the strength to actually start giving them up. Again, that yes, they're recognizing that this isn't something I want anymore in my life, that I knew I shouldn't be doing it, but I wasn't able to stop because of association or whatever. But now they're feeling strength by hearing from Srila Prabhupada and getting in contact with devotees. So just being able to maintain that and not put too much on them, and encourage them to go through that process of, one, recognizing themselves what is in their heart, and seeing how they can give up what they're able to give up.
One more thing, when you said that when your sadhana is good, when you are chanting, reading, hearing more and more, and then you feel, very positive feelings towards others. I remember one time I was listening to one class, my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Giriraj Swami Maharaj, said that once he told Srila Prabhupada, after Srila Prabhupada gave class or some place they were, and after bowing down, he said, "Oh, Srila Prabhupada, I feel so much love for every living entity." It was a hall, some auditorium after the program. And then he said that, even though he was that time still new, but he said, "Yeah, I feel so much love coming out of me. I want to then love everybody, every entity, every person in this hall and outside the hall, the ant and so I think that's what you were also trying to say.
Just by being in Prabhupada's association, you're saying? By being in his physical presence, you're saying that was their experience? Wow, it's powerful. So Srila Prabhupada said he's in his books. So if you want to have that vision of all living entities being parts and parcels of the Supreme, and to feel care and compassion for all living beings, then we have to read these books. We have to associate. And Srila Prabhupada. Yeah, he's sweet. Wow. Okay. Well, nothing else? Srinivasacharya.
Yeah, so can you tell me a little bit more about importance of reading Prabhupada books, how it helps?
How does it help? Wonderful question. I can only speak from my own experience and also what I've read, but I'm just going to keep going. Yesterday I made an offering to my spiritual master, and 6 pages of the offer, or I think 5 pages of the offering, were just Prabhupada's verses and purports. And a big section of it was Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Lila, 19th chapter, text 151 through 150 to 155. The Bhakti Lata Bij, that the living entity is wandering through this world, by our karma, just cycling over and over, and somehow or other we come in contact by good fortune with a devotee, and we receive the seed of devotional service. And it's described that seed is watered by hearing and chanting. So just by hearing the glorifications of the Lord. And then there's verses as well, the verse from the Ramananda Samvad, where Ramananda Roy gets to the point of spontaneous devotion and hearing, submitting ourselves to a pure devotee and hearing from them, and hearing consistently. Like this, we're purifying our heart, following all the regulative principles. We gain the strength by associating with the pure devotees, the acharyas, through the purports of Srila Prabhupada, because all the acharyas are there. Everybody's there completely waiting for us, waiting to give us their blessings. And as soon as we open these pages and put ourselves in their association, then we're receiving their blessings, because their desire is that we become Krishna conscious. And what better way to become Krishna conscious than associate with the greatest saints in history, who are passing down the very fruit of pure love of God given by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. I don't think there's any other way to become as Krishna conscious as we can, and by reading Srila Prabhupada's purports. And that process, it's purifying. That this is, as Lord Chaitanya said, this is a turning point. But in the commentary of that same verse in the 14th chapter of the Bhagavatam, of the Lord Brahma's prayers, he was speaking about hearing the glories of the Lord. And that's where I referenced that if you just have to stay alive and exist, if all you have to do is hear, then you'll still attain the perfection of life. And it was describing that we serve the narrations of the Lord's pastimes with our mind, our words, and our body, our words, and our mind. And we can do it by offering respects to the texts themselves, and by doing so, by hearing this consistently, that we become pure devotees. That's the way of becoming a pure devotee, is by hearing always about the glories of the Lord. And one who is a pure devotee, Krishna himself is, he's conquered. That same verse says that Krishna is, the unconquerable becomes conquered by one who's doing this process. So we can see it practically in our lives as we even come in contact a little bit in a day. We start to contemplate these topics in our life. They enter our mind, they're planting seeds, and we think about the qualities of Maharaj Parikshit, how great of a ruler he was. We see the contrast with the world today. It helps us gather detachment, because we have to become pessimistic to our material enjoyment in this world. So we start to recognize the contrast of what is this pure spiritual knowledge, this message coming from the previous acharyas and Srila Prabhupada. What is that in relation to what's happening in the world today? How does it apply? And we start to experience and integrate this teaching into our life and seeing it in the world. And it becomes ecstatic because it's alive. And then when we read, we experience that I'm doing these things and I'm experiencing what it's saying, and it's really transforming my life. And this is wonderful. And I've seen it by giving to other people that they're also becoming transformed. So it's not just me, it's not just my own, convincing myself, but other people are being completely affected by it. So this is a hearing like that, we become so totally inspired. Shri Radha Nila Madhava ki jai, Shri Radha Giridhari, Shri Giriraj Govardhan ki jai, Shri Nitai Gaura Chandra, Shri Nitai Chaitanya Chandra ki jai, Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Thank you. Hare Krishna.